The knowledge. One idea can change everything. One moment can change everything. The quality of our lives is determined by the quality of the moments we experience. So let's choose some great ones. For example, if you had a wonderfully significant moment right now, that would create measurable change in your biology. And there's a ripple effect, improving mood. In a split second of time, all this can happen. Is that true? If it did, your whole day would go better because you feel better. Serendipity begins to function of its own accord. It's like someone has turned on the lights in the room of your life. Accomplishing the task of inner healing is quite uncomfortable at first. Yet going through the process, we improve our overall vibe. Personal coherence is the luck factor in life. So drop the defense mechanisms, expose your issues, and get into it today. Putting in the effort makes all the difference. A key in life is to be able to create measurable biological change independent of circumstance. This is the master's skill. Whatever is going on, we can center ourselves on a moment's notice and rally our resources. Try 10 seconds of centering 3 times a day to start. The benefits are cumulative. You can evaluate your results simply by asking yourself, do I feel better? Then go on a journey to look at ways that this is true and not true. I'd like to introduce you to an interesting educational forum. Yourself. Quote, physician, know thyself, unquote. Socrates. The opportunity is right here in this circumstance, in this place, with these people. But we are stuck only on strategizing for gain as our great solution in life. It won't work. People live in the ways of too much predation, shock, attraction, repulsion, and control tactics, etc. Instead, try trusting life and letting it flow through you, guiding you. Are you accepting this today, or do you have to be in control of it all? Instead of playing energy chess with people, realize that every person has value, but it must first be elucidated. Playing people against each other and never believing in anyone except yourself is egoic distortion. Bouncing off of other people's energy is only a way to stay non-transparent. How could the inner life be enjoyed? The veil keeping us unaware of the inherent value of people is our own denial. Being penetrated or exposed by another person does not mean that you have to do more strategy. It means it's time to learn. As soon as you believe in people, you become part of a community comprised of wise individuals. If everything is a game and manipulation to ultimately draw attention to ourselves, then we are lost. There are no external solutions to personal problems. Being present and spending quality time with your loved ones does not take away from productivity. If our personal lives are in a state of agitation or unfulfillment, we can never make the honest gains we want in life. Relational connectivity is actually the only fuel for creative genius. Everything goes back to and comes from relationship. It's all about relationship. Whether it's an object, a room, a car, finances, or most importantly, the people closest to us, everything is a relationship. If we are stuck in our heads and afraid of the people in the environment, then how could we ever have power in the field? We often persist believing in the illusion of separateness. Yet we are one organism evolving together. Connectivity in the field of environment results in empowerment. In this, we discover living life from an overflow of energy, not a squeeze. This can only come from the boundless fuel of relational coherence. How do you get that? Except that it is your own emotional experience in life that has to mature. The inner response-ability must be trained. Otherwise, the perpetuating dramas and problems ruin quality of life. This is often the case. And when people go silent and repressed, it even gets worse. Ultimately, this wrong direction degrades mental functioning. But we can reverse that trend by including a little practice. Say 10 in your mind, and for the next 10 seconds, ground yourself. Improve this experience, and the festering problems may resolve themselves before they manifest. In daily life, when you feel yourself becoming unsettled, it is the signal that there's danger in the midst. Quickly resync with simple, doable methods. There's lots of options to explore centering techniques. Reverse your search, ground yourself, and find out what's really going on in your biological biography. The events of our lives simply refer to whatever's going on inside of us. Our beliefs and responses are activated by events. It's how we respond that makes all the difference. Learning centering results in responsibility. It is a skill having many levels, and it is the number one skill any human being can develop. It is the source of creative genius and the key personal resource. You may say there's not enough time for things like this, or I'll be overtaken by unmet tasks. Nothing could be further from the truth, because whenever we take this time, the result is industrious productivity naturally. You will never see a master of life who is also the most productive rushing about in a frenetic mess. So be still and reverse your search to improve your quality of life. The University of Enlightenment is the ultimate classroom resulting in the life of your dreams. Personal coherence is enlightenment. Who are the professors? Genuinely wise individuals. Such people do exist and are unquestionably the top of human intelligence. Who are they for you? What is your list of the Socrates types of people? Do you spend time daily associating with them? Please slow down and make that list now. Methodically reference each of these as bright lights of wisdom in your life. From such great contact, it is a lot easier to sort through the stuff we have repressed. It is really important to dredge up this now, not later. We all have issues in our tissues in one form or another. Being stuck in denial and stuck on go leads us nowhere fast. Frenetic negativity, emotionalized attention can only cause more problems. So slow down, stop, and reverse your search. Even though you're believing you have to keep up and do more, and that's your only hope, you're mistaken. The only thing that you will be remembered for by the human genome is who you are, not what you do. Of course, one relates to the other, but only one of them is primary. It's our feelings on the inside that determine the influence we are giving to our lives. These birth our actions in the long run. It is not the other way around. The source of thought. If you can find the source of thought, then you will know who you are. This simply means that you are much more the silent observer than the emotional feeling you are consumed with, the thoughts you are thinking, or the circumstances. These are all events you're experiencing, but who you are is the observer of them. Is that correct? If so, then why are you identified with them? In doing so, you think these events are you, and you must be perfect to be okay. There is no perfect in life. Realizing this grants perspective and insight. Managing emotions, thoughts, and behaviors is governed more effectively. So getting quiet to restore yourself in this pure observational awareness and make contact with the real you takes effort and guidance. Then your emotional, cognitive, behavioral, and circumstances will all become more congruent. But which is the most important factor? EQ over IQ. It is well established by university studies that emotional intelligence is far more important than IQ in determining success in life. Emotion and pulse are closely related in that each emotion influences the evenness of our heart's rhythms. This can be measured simply with a free HRV app on your phone. It is one of the most advanced biofeedback measurements, helping us to understand the subtle emotional influences beyond the reach of our conscious awareness. The heart is both a gland and an organ. Becoming heart-centered, heartfelt, and heart-warmed goes a long way to ease the troubles of the mind. All these phrases lead us to one conclusion: love. Try love in life. It is neither weak nor out there. Real love is the greatest human experience and strength. It is available today to wash, repair, heal, and strengthen. Love is the one word eclipsing human intelligence, and it is the best boon to all good results in mind, body, and life. It's all about perspective. Can you learn something from the movie reel of your life? That's love. Can you have empathy towards the other person? That's love. Can you rise to the occasion to protect when called for? That's love. Stay in love, and emotional, cognitive, behavioral intelligence skyrockets automatically. But it all starts with you. The real person you have searched for to come into your life and solve all your problems is you. And when you find love in yourself, it is the natural estate to share it with others. Here is a link for a poem I wrote called The Cosmic Fire. This may help you get the feeling to begin calming down and start making your way towards the emotional nourishment you need to clear the air. It's always like this. Starting over and going for the gold should be our daily journey. We have to make progress. We either regress or progress. In life, there is no stasis. To get encouraged and rise for the prize, what is important is finding what works for you as an individual. With just the right catalyst, a new script, a new lease, and the successful direction can be given in an instant. Just like a light switch, in one moment of clarity, you can reconfigure your patterns and upgrade your destiny. It could be from reading the right words or connecting with the magic garden location in nature. It could be as simple as a moment of remembrance from somewhere you've been or a peak life experience. It could be a new adventure today, taking a totally different angle of approach. Or the best option is discovering the right friend for you, whom is truly a wise mentor. That's the help we need, an active relationship within the community of wise people. Do you think that's possible for you? We cannot just wing it and endlessly wander about from thing to thing. We need an established curriculum. The human psyche has somewhere between 60 and 80,000 thoughts in just one day. That's a lot of distraction and wasted energy. And here are 2 links scientifically proving that. Therefore, let your thought stream be interrupted and start focusing more precisely now. Extend your attention span. Is there really time to waste? No. Now is the only time there ever is. It's not going to be a do it later kind of thing. Missed opportunity is the cause of failure. Here's your chance. Quote, don't fool yourself, period. The way is in training. Musashi. To train, we need fuel. Innervation is the medical term for when electromagnetism fills our nerves. You and I are often caught in either worrying or being attracted, repulsed, etc. It's a challenge to calm our nerves in a way of profound refreshment. Recharging, innervation, requires conscious super slow rhythms. 10 seconds now and then with the accountability to measure results is the way to get started. A little help can be useful, so please find it for yourself. True helpers do not need you to pay them anything. They exist. Find them. Once you have the spark of a little help, the feeling lingers. For example, after any kind of good experience, the feeling penetrates into the recesses of our psyches and we take it deep. Yet some people cannot filter it down. So being stuck in discursive thought, we are often unable to truly calm down and center ourselves. The longing to escape reality makes people use meditation and other mind-body techniques as a way to avoid conflict. However, real meditation is nothing like that at all. It is a natural human function for proper psychological hygiene. It makes us more clear, present, and resilient. Relax and realize life is quite the ride. For example, we live nestled in the Orion Cygnus arm, sandwiched between the larger Perseus and Carina Sagittarius arms. If we were to travel inwards towards the city center of our district in the universe, we would find the Scutum, Centaurus, and Norma arms. At the very heart of the Milky Way is a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A. It's about 4 million times the mass of the sun. We are on a planet that's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and it's going around the sun at 90 miles a second at 67,000 miles an hour. The sun is spinning at 4,400 miles an hour. The entire Milky Way galaxy is moving through space at 1.3 million miles per hour. The planets in our solar system revolve around the sun, around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, in about 225 to 250 million years to revolve once around the galactic center. This length of time is called a cosmic year. Relative to the local standard, our sun and Earth are moving at 43,000 miles per hour in the direction of the star Vega in the constellation of Lyra. The Milky Way as a whole is spinning at 540,000 miles per hour, and we're 30,000 years away from galactic central point. All of our relational and circumstantial experience is taking place inside of this cosmic spaceship ride we're on. So keep perspective about where you're at, what you're doing, and where you're going. You and I are on a cosmic spaceship ride. Much of the challenge to get to the inner healing resides in one simple task: extend your attention span. Now's the time to do it, not later. Finally, slow down your experience of time and go through the process of getting centered. But I know what you really want: different, more, or everything. Then if you get one of those, you'll only accept something else. Just stop. This is the cycle of addiction, true for all people. It's not helping anyone or anything. If you want to truly make progress, then merge back. Rediscover the boundless childhood spirit that you are and let it supercharge you into cellular suffusion. What's your version of the knowledge? If you follow the directions given here, you will create a document containing all of your best understanding and connections in life. Here's your link to get started. From this, you can begin to get the feeling and bring it into deep restorative meditation. Training, learning should be extremely boring, meticulous, painstaking, and methodical. Returning to the same ideas, principles, and practices is the only way of skill development in any art or science. What about the art and science of your own adaptation to survive and thrive? Repairing neurologically burnt circuits, upgrading the software of your psychology, becoming physically stronger, etc. It's all an inner job. Be teachable to enter the halls of this inner university. Think about it. If you're willing to get very specific when preparing for some event, a degree, or a job, or to do a task properly, and these take up most of your time and life and processing power, what about the subject of you? Is there any guidance or curriculum welcome there? Or will you go through life like most, flailing about in search for yourself? Instead, through great contact with extraordinary people, we realize the way. The way in life is like any other way. It needs a map for successful navigation. Is your living navigational system self-created, or do you have reference to authentic mentors? You may have not known that they exist, but I assure you they do. Darshan is the vibe of a real master of life. You can be introduced to all types with a little searching. You can find your way to the kinds of people that resonate with you. But to continue to do it all alone is no longer reasonable. Masters don't function that way. Learn how to get connected with people in the highest places, and nature's nourishing as well. Merge back into the reverie of personal rejuvenation. Be remade into a better version of yourself. This is the task of life benefiting all. Then you can begin to live life from an overflow of energy, not a squeeze. We have all thought about meeting a Yoda type, someone who has profound insight that can guide us into realizing our true potential. History is replete with examples of truly wise people, and better than that, they live here today. They are available. Just look around a bit. Wisdom is the most extraordinary thing to transform our hearts and minds. Coming from real people in real time is best. We only need to be transparent and honest. It is the labors of improving character that bring the fruit of improved quality of life. Feeling safe within the presence and wisdom of mature, helpful people makes all the difference. Note, there are areas in our minds and behavior where the wrong type of attitude and action is repeating. With the leverage of these neurologically associated feelings, by great contact, these can change. We have to try again with the catalyst of guidance. Quote, "There is no rest without effort." Breathe easier now and feel the agitation of exposed issues and unmet needs and fears. By feeling them, that breaks up the dirt like the agitator in the washing machine, and we're grounded for a time, able to air our own repressed bad vibes and incompetent actions we have done. If you're without these, then you're truly dissociative. We all have them. Doing this all results in time spent analyzing our own personal problems. Quote, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with the problem longer." Albert Einstein. Quote, "The path advancing appears retreating." Yet we all want to do it, get it done, right? We don't want to back off and get quiet so that things happen in our lives. Otherwise, we're forced to face ourselves by events that cause us troubling emotions. Rather than having the experience as a surprise, you can pre-process. By doing so, you avoid a whole set of problems. Shake up the etch-a-sketch of your biological biography now and then and just observe for a while. Get the insight you need to succeed. Get perspective. Don't be more focused on shooting arrows. Be more focused on drawing the bow and targeting. Calm down, settle down, slow down, ground down. Be quiet, not do quiet. Peace and quiet time without an object of attention washes our minds. Silence is mental antiseptic, dousing a multitude of anxieties and improves cognitive functioning. Listening to blessed silence a while restores balance and is vital time well spent. Do you know how to do it? Most cannot, but rather have a ceaseless stream of anxious thought that ultimately degrades mental functioning. Or people mistake relaxation for meditation. It is not. Intuitive sensing calms anxieties. All the geniuses speak of a balance between silence and thought. With inner silence, intuition blossoms. Intuition is more important than knowledge, and where subconscious processing power is accessed. In this, we rediscover balance. It is our own personal coherence that makes all the difference. When the multiple engines of our systems are in sync, we have personal coherence. Brain and body, emotions and thought, etc. Like two engines in sync, and there's some kind of third vibration and hum that happens in the air. Whenever we feel really good, this is our biological reality, and things just go better all by themselves. Masters of life cultivate this quality through meditation. Now, the word meditation as used here has virtually nothing to do with what is present to people in books, on the internet, and what you might think it is. I'm talking about the real deal. Scientifically, it simply means our ability to influence our own emotion, thinking, interpretation, behavior, hormones, pulse, brainwaves, spatial orientation, etc. When these are benefited in profound measure, we dynamically respond to whatever is in our lives in the same way that an oceanic body of water configures automatically to the winds. The winds of your life should automatically create your responses in a one-to-one relationship. It runs on automatic. This is the outside the box and in the zone experience reported by expert mathematicians and athletes. Yet it can be applied to any task to have a successful result. Most important, relationally. But we have to interpret our lives to do it, creating the experience more thoroughly first and foremost each day. All this speaks to the value of advanced meditation, which is held by both scientists and sages as the greatest possible source for your wellness and success. Harvard Medical School said that the gray matter in our brains improves after only 8 weeks of meditation. And here is the link. Behind the scenes of environment, there is a mystery. To get back to it, we have to become more accepting of this environment, these people, these circumstances. Life can be scary. You may be consumed with, are my kids going to be okay? Will I make it? Will I be rich? Will I become diseased or have an accident? Am I a good person? How will I die? Etc. Even if it's scary, let life back in to perceive with a stable mind all the elements at play in your life. Watch the movie reel for a while and you will gain tremendous insight. It is a profound relief to do so. The constant obsession and strategizing is chronically debilitating. Take a break. There is no grand solution for anything, but one thing is for sure. We're better off letting life back in and feeling whatever's present rather than trying to squirm away from it all. Mostly we try to avoid feeling, and it's not helping. Please give up the illusion of total control. It's not possible anyway to be in total control, and it is robbing you of the mystery of life and lessens your powerful influence. It's not worth it. Are you enrolled in the University of Life, or are you trying to be the one in total control? The Tao is the timing, or the way is the timing, not our timing. To make the quickest possible life transformation, pen what works for you as an individual and get on it. Be specific and schedule to connect with yourself and with all that works for you for the rest of your life with no end in sight. In time, education and improved abilities manifest. You will change. You will learn. But for now, just set out on becoming teachable. Let me give you an example of results. I went to the ophthalmologist to get glasses because I could not pass the eye exam for my driver's license renewal. I asked the MD, is there anything to those Heal Your Eyes programs? He said, nobody can change their eye prescription. It's all pseudoscience. I simply practiced Rest Your Eyes for about a month, and my eyes changed from 20/50, 20/70 back to 20/20, and I passed the driver's license exam without glasses. This is the smallest and simplest reference. I have dozens of other more profound examples I could give. Did you know that people with multiple personality disorder can change their eye color as well as having their appearance and disappearance of different diseases in their biological chemistry happen? In mere moments, their biochemistry in specific ways transforms, even to the degree of influencing their own genetic code. It's called epigenetic influence. It's all about what they believe they are, or who they believe they are. Who do you believe you are? The science of epigenetics shows us that we can influence our very genes. Here are a few articles for your review. The first article is from PubMed, the world's leading medical journal, respected by pure scientists around the world. And then another article on multiple personality disorder and how people have these amazing changes, and it goes into great detail, both of them. This all points to the possibilities we have to influence our own biochemistry. The honeymoon effect of being in love and turned on can be cultivated, and it's the source of life itself. Why? Because the biochemistry is supercharged and the mind becomes extraordinarily insightful with such an experience. Living daily in the honeymoon effect is the key to an enlightening, progressive experience throughout life. Through practice, with the inner ability, you can begin to rewrite the script you're following. What I've learned is that this whole thing depends on great contact. Only when we are in contact with a person, place, or thing of tremendous value will we finally relax and restore. There's an interesting phrase associated with deep relaxation: soak the bones. We have to reach the bones to soak the bones, yet all too often we just can't do it because of too much mental worrying. Feeling safe in our own skin reveals the tangible awareness of our own bodies. Our bodies give the natural biofeedback, providing lots of information to understand what's really going on in our lives. The bones are like the batteries of the body and where the blood is created. Quote, I can feel it in my bones, unquote. It's another phrase of deep meaning. This awareness can be trained. But do you believe in learning and the uncomfortable efforts of training, or do you have it all covered? Note, learning about an external subject is one thing. Learning about ourselves and life is far more difficult. Yet it's also more doable through expert facilitation. The problem with the collective human race is denying that truly wise people exist. Come on, get real. Listen, if you don't have mentors in your life, then you actually have been believing that there's not one person on the entire planet, nor in history, that eclipses your intelligence. Is that reasonable? Do you believe no one is trustworthy to love and honor you? May I ask, are you being mentored in close, lasting relationships? Why not try it out and see if such people exist? Read their words, experiment with their suggestions. That's how the spark of evolution is carried from generation to generation. People of wonderful ability and power exist to improve our quality of life today. They care and are available. Why aren't you a student under the authority of such people? Not doing so is neither reasonable nor logical. There is an ascending and descending order of intelligence in any subject. How about the subject of you? Are there any authorities there, or are you the only one? Listen, the most ancient writings on human wisdom contain this interesting quote. Quote, without the grace of the teacher, you could neither attain happiness nor success even in a dream. Unquote, the Vedas. It is a transmission of energy that makes all the difference. Do you think energy is New Age bunk? Do you know that in a hospital, the most advanced way to diagnose a heart is called a magnetocardiograph? It reads the electromagnetic field of the heart. Did you know that each cell in your body has a north and south pole of magnetism that reads the magnetic configuration of information through the skin of the cell? And there's a link to scientific journals proving that. There are so many more scientific examples of biomagnetism. So, do we have an aura? Yes, that's scientifically obvious. Is this aura configured with information? Yes, that's also proven. Therefore, we had better get the feeling if we want to know what's really going on in our life. If you were to spend some time with any star or person in history, just basking in their presence, then do you think there's some kind of energy or vibe that would fill you up? What is that? Magnetism. Why do people say a magnetic personality or personal magnetism? That actually has a physical magnetism, scientifically proven element to it. These aren't just phrases. Make sure you're on the right track. Real mentors don't want anything from us nor to convince us of anything. We can't buy their energy or take from them, but we can be their friends if we choose. The only thing an ordinary person can do is pursue the outer world because of frenetic attention. The only thing an enlightenment student can do is pursue the inner world through trust. They are totally at odds with each other, and in the long run, one will win the game of life and the other will be shamed. Why? Because the inside includes the outside, not the other way around. Void overcomes pulse. Space consumes forms. The greater our sense of spaciousness, the quicker our processing speed. So first get back to being still, quiet, spacious, calm. Then get better at recharging your own batteries, reconfiguring your own biomagnetic signatures. Don't think about it. Feel it. Be experiencing it. Feeling it happen in real time. Cognition is not capable of experiencing the mystery. Compulsive thinking in the attempt to find some grand conclusion is conclusion delusion. We're duped into believing that understanding something, completing some project, or buying some product will make all our problems go away. It will be happiness at last. So we have the attachment of staying stuck on go in the search of this illusion of completion. That method doesn't work for figuring out much of anything. Geniuses don't think. Thinking happens. Spontaneously, because of drive, insight comes to the surface. Clear, methodical problem solving is automated through meaning, reason, and purpose. There are so many levels to realizing this secret of life. A good PhD or a black belt knows that they're only beginning. How about you? Have you become a knower, ever in charge, or are you just beginning? Do you have endless commentary on virtually every subject? Are you ever repressed, ever waiting to be listened to, valued through entitlement, never satisfied? Are you ever resentful and disappointed that others are not realizing your specialness and greatness? Being a beginner is the opposite of all this. And it's the only place a master of life can remain. Ever curious, ever proved wrong, and starting over. All forms, including our bodies, are dissolving back into space. Is that true? Sounds are dissipating into silence. Is that true? Galaxies are created and destroyed, but the space stays the same. Be spacious. Be timeless and all-inclusive. We are here on this ride to find ourselves. Interrupt your judgment and discover the inherent worth of all people, no matter what their behavior. Wise people say that the source is within you. So where are you looking for all your answers? And whom do you think the other person is? Is it their behavior, their psychology, or is pure, immaculate life flowing through them? The journey within is the most important thing, because that is where we're going, and that's the only thing we're going to take with us in the long run. Interestingly enough, it leads to external riches in the meantime. Yet, these come not at the sacrifice of our own health. There are no ordinary moments, and this one has all that's necessary for profound realization. Approach this situation from an entirely new paradigm today. Set out and return with different angles of approach so that you can find yourself more. Let's have some timelessly memorable events by choice and enjoy the ripple effect. This happens by being a conduit of life, not a strategist only attempting to be in control. To have more influence, be permeable instead. Okay, to help you get started, try this. What specific scent do you enjoy? Name it. Now, smell it in your imagination. Slow down and let go of whatever you're worried about. Just enjoy the sense of air flowing in and out of your nostrils and be filling up with the anticipation of that scent. Just this. Only this. Reject all else. Did you know that we have more memories with our sense of smell than with any other sense? And there's a link talking about scent. We absolutely must extend our attention span, and an enjoyable scent, even in the imagination, is a good experiment to start with. A bear can smell 40 miles and track the source of food. A homing pigeon can sense the magnetism in the air and travel 1,000 miles, even from an enclosed box, back to a precise location. A cat sees things we do not. Much of our problems in life come from not being aware and paying attention. We have, in some measure, these abilities that animals have, yet they've gone dormant through atrophy. Just look at what animals are aware of and we are not. Then there's a link to many, many interesting pages of what animals sense. Being more nourished and connected with nature, we can then turn our attention to the real education coming from wise sources. Nature is the bridge to masters. Find your feet, so to speak, and get grounded. Learn to sense life as well as think. You'll be amazed at the new supports becoming part of your daily life. Take time off for enjoying twinkling stars, shimmering waters, gentle breezes, sunshine on your face, crackling fires, rustling leaves, and sensing the same kind of abilities animals have. Life is a sensual experience. Be super turned on by the scent, the sight, the sound, the words, taste, touch, texture, and vibes all around you. This way you can begin restoring your inner person. Being nourished by nature can improve our intelligence and open us up to perceive life better. This all happens in extremely slowed down internal rhythms while being receptive instead of being in control. That may come later when we're called to do so, but more importantly is always remaining the consummate student, whether we are called to be an influencer or not. This boring inner journey of sensing eventuates in being supercharged in life, just like a great night's sleep. Why? The most repair for the mind and body comes from super slow rhythms. This is why people go into shock and coma when terrible mental or physical trauma happens. Therefore, to help avoid future troubles, experience conscious coma, conscious sleeping by choice instead. There's always too much to repair and too much to process that's needed. So completing this step of slowing down, where there's theta and delta waves primarily, the pituitary gland releases the hormones for mind-body repair, and we can avoid troubles and create successes. And there's scientific articles about that as a link. Cellular replacement functions most efficiently in the time of non-dreaming sleep. This is why all the sages and geniuses give the example of often going into a blissful reverie where time and place vanish. So to get smarter, do the same. Einstein said, "Why is it that I get my best ideas when shaving?" He also said, "I believe that which leads people to great achievement in the arts and sciences is flight from everyday life with its painful harshness and wretched dreariness. This can be compared to the city dweller who goes to the countryside for a weekend of rest and relaxation." He made a direct correlation between great achievement in the arts and sciences and somebody going to the countryside, getting away from it all. What happens? A change of atmosphere is felt within and around our bodies. This kind of thing can happen in a moment, correct? That's why the main principle of the successful life trains this ability of real meditation by remembering the theory that one moment can change everything. In moments like this, time passes without any notice nor concern. The senses are sharper, the air is cleared, and a way is made relationally. Remember, it's all about relationships. How we are in relationship with people, places, and things makes all the difference. This apparently magical transformation can happen in an instant, but it needs to be trained through ongoing education. As the skill improves, the more the ripple effect influences our biology and lives. Do masters of life with extraordinary abilities exist? Of course they do. And this is the singularly best thing anyone can ever discover. Believing in the impossible is the ordinary state for super coherent people because it's about resourcefulness, not resources. Playing energy chess with people is forsaken because we have a greater source, nature, competent mentorship, within, and more. Spherical intuition functions as the primary source of intelligence, not thinking. Pursuing external change has nothing to do with this. Why? Because if we feel better, we do better. It's not the other way around, as we've been taught. Therefore, give up the endless, relentless obsession with outer strategies. Instead, give more time to making a better you on core levels. We are not going to learn anything, accomplish anything, get anything, nor create anything that will change our core emotional feeling about people and life. This can only be done by facing ourselves. And to do that, we need the master skill, meditation. Notice a genius or Olympian just before action. Each pause for a few moments and tap into the wellspring of life. Meditation gives even more full spectrum benefit, but there's many levels. We stretch the strings of time, which are bound up in fearful clinging and mental obsessions. You can feel these strings in your body in seconds flat. Time, place, and circumstance vanish. We start in the journey of core rejuvenation. You cannot learn this by yourself. That would be learning concentration. To learn meditation, you need the vibe of a real teacher, which is very rare. Just like meeting some kind of superstar, yet this is multiplied in its benefits. Therefore, the lasting effect is more penetrating. In Zen, it is called the transmission of the teaching outside the scriptures. To begin culturing yourself into more receptivity, try this. Do you remember when you experienced breathtaking beauty? When you were alone in a wonderful, nourishing scene in nature, were your worries forgotten then? Did time pass by without any notice or concern? Did you feel better afterwards? Ultimately, it's a feeling. On a great vacation, we exist in a sort of suspended animation, letting the world pass us by. Quote, sitting quietly, the grass grows by itself. Eons pass and I hardly notice. Zen saying. The Tao says, can I wait long enough until the stirred up pool of my muddy mind settles down and I can see clearly again? What are your sources of education in life? I hope it includes real Yoda types. Hopefully, you can connect with the search to find the real ones that you resonate with. When you switch your attention and go on to the journey of apprenticeship with such people, your entire character changes for the better. This is what you've been waiting for. It can be a Plato, a Socrates, enlightened masters, deity figures, etc. It's not about what I say or think. It's about you finding your way back to your true interests. Be grateful for other people's wisdom, but know when it's time for you to take charge as well. Curiosity about wisdom coming from other people must not be forgotten. Quote, what are the root to enjoy the fruit? Maharishi. Natural effulgence, overflowing energy, is the state of someone that's outside the box and in the zone. People live that way and create extraordinary successes. And you can begin training your biology to have the same inner experience, which results in improved outer experiences. It's not the hunt to overcome or strategize with others with the path. It's your own circumstances that you're facing within yourself. Through that, you find freedom, empowerment, and insight. Can you believe in the value of learning how to expertly clean your own mind? It might be the greatest gift you've ever given to yourself.